And a big update coming in the latest one, Nimisha Priya cases. The family of Talal Abdo Mahdi, the man murdered by Indian nurse Nimisha Priya, has firmly rejected all reconciliation efforts and insisted that only her execution will bring justice. In fact, in a very strongly worded Facebook post, Talal's brother Abdel Fattah Mahdi said, let me quote him here, that blood cannot be bought, justice cannot be forgotten. The post came shortly after Yemeni authorities postponed Nimisha Priya's execution, prompting a fresh wave of public attention on the case. Despite mediation efforts and also reported offers of diyat or blood money, the family says it remains committed to pursuing Qisas or retributive justice under the Islamic law. Nimisha Priya was convicted back in the year of 2017 for murdering a former employer in Yemen, allegedly in an attempt to escape abuse and return home with her daughter. For now, her execution remains on hold, but the victim's family shows no sign of backing down. My colleague Gautam is joining us to provide us with the latest. Gautam, please walk us through the latest information that you have picked up with regards to this temporary halt on the execution of Nimisha Priya. What's on the investigation so far and what's going to be the next?
Yes, Sakshi. So, as we understand, the family of this Yemeni man, Talal Abdo Mahdi, who was actually murdered by Malayali nurse Nimisha Priya, has made it very, very clear that they will not accept anything less than her execution. And this statement comes just a few hours after a temporary relief was granted by Yemeni authorities to Nimisha Priya, saying that they're going to delay the execution. Now, in a Facebook post following the postponement of the execution itself, the victim's brother has said that the family has rejected all efforts at reconciliation and including any sort of offers of diyat or blood money as well. And in this Facebook post, he basically talks about what is happening today and all the talk of mediation and reconciliation. He's saying this is neither new or surprising. He goes on to say that throughout the years of this case going on, there have been covert efforts and serious attempts at mediation, and that is natural and expected. But the pressures they have faced is not going to change, and the demand remains clear. The Qisas or retribution in this case, and nothing else. And no matter what, they're not going to accept the execution being stopped, is what Mehdi's brother has said. And this goes on to highlight the severity of the case here, Sakshi, that despite efforts being made by the Indian government, the External Affairs Ministry has stepped in. The Grand Mufti of India has also played a major role in reconciliation as well. But as far as this post goes, it basically indicates that there is no way that they're going to accept reconciliation, and they're standing firm on the execution of Nimisha Priya, Sakshi.
Also, Gautam, if you can tell us a little bit more about this Facebook post that we told our viewers about. What exactly is that? What's written in it?
Yes, Sakshi. So here, Abdel Fattah Mehdi, who's put up the Facebook post, he's basically said that they will accept nothing less than the execution, and unequivocally they have basically rejected the blood money as well. Now, he's also gone on to say that the family has basically rejected all offers, and blood money is not a solution as well. So, if blood money is not a solution, there's really no way to stop the execution in Yemen. And he also talks about years of pressure as well. He basically acknowledged that there have been mediation attempts that have covertly happened, and this has gone on for several years in this Facebook post. And he basically states that his family stands on demanding Qisas or retributive justice has never changed. And he basically says that execution has been delayed and not cancelled, and the Yemeni authorities basically have recently postponed Nimisha Priya's execution. But the family is going on expressing disappointment over this. They have appeared on international channels as well, and they say that they will continue to pursue justice, and they are remaining firm on their statement that no pressure will shake them. Blood cannot be bought, justice cannot be forgotten, is the statement that is made on the Facebook post. So this basically indicates that it may be a case of execution delayed, but how long, and with the family not accepting any sort of reconciliation, it's very troubling times indeed for the family of Nimisha Priya, and the reconciliation attempts that are being made by the Grand Mufti of India and the Indian government as well, yes, Sakshi.
Also, Gautam, with regards to the developments that have come in this case so far, is there any sign of any kind of breakthrough? Can the tables turn at all?
That right now, as per the laws of Yemen, it's very difficult because you need to remember that this case was also taken up by the Supreme Court, where the Indian government actually said that they have done everything in their hands in terms of diplomatic engagement in this possible in this particular case. But even despite that, after that, we also had the Grand Mufti of India. He intervened in the matter, and he also said that this is a national responsibility as well. But the Yemeni laws make it very clear that the family is the one that needs to forgive, and blood money is one of the ways to do that as well. But with both the options being rejected by the family, the options before Nimisha Priya and the family are very, very limited. And despite seeking a humane resolution on this front by India as well, it remains very unlikely that the family is going to relent. And with this being the scenario, it becomes very difficult for the Indian authorities to try and seek a positive outcome from these interventions that have been going on for several years now. And it will be interesting to see what really happens in this case, because the Grand Mufti of India and there are negotiators still there in Yemen. They're continuing to work it out, but the family has made it very, very clear that they are not going to accept the blood money, and they want justice, and justice in the form of death for Nimisha Priya here, Sakshi.
As of now, the execution has been kept on hold, Gautam. So that is certainly a very big development as far as Nimisha Priya's case goes. But if I could also ask you about the diplomatic dialogue that you have just mentioned between the governments of Yemen as well as Indian government here, and the kind of requests which were made between them, could you highlight some of the key details about that as well?
Yes, because the embassies of both countries have actually been constantly in touch, and also the Kerala government has made their efforts as well, with Pinarayi Vijayan also personally taking up this matter. But so far, the efforts by Kandapuram AP Abu Bakr Musliar, he is the one of the prominent Indian Muslim clerics. His intervention has been very, very critical in this matter, and through the Markas in Kerala, he established direct communication with political and religious leaders in Yemen as well. And this led to sort of an overnight negotiation, which basically brought some sort of relief to Nimisha Priya, where the execution has now been delayed. But they've been facing severe pressure as well, and the family has been in talks with the Indian government, and diplomatic channels have been opened in this case. But it's very unlikely, with this Facebook post coming to light from the brother of the victim, that they are unwilling to accept. And if the family does not accept this, it's very difficult for the Yemeni authorities to do anything, because as per their legal system, this is how it functions. Once someone is convicted for murder, then the execution is the only option there. So now it's entirely up to the victim's family. If they accept the diya or pardon her, that is the only way. If not, we could see a case of just the case being delayed. But Nimisha Priya is not likely to see any sort of relief anytime soon here, Sakshi.